I'm back on the plot, and today I want to get some more beds made up, but I've just remembered I've left the timber that joins the end pieces together at home, so I do need to go back and get that. But I have brought some compost down to fill one of my beds, so I'll do that job first because it's a really heavy job, that is, and I want to get it done out of the way. So let's crack on and get that bed filled. So you will have just seen me adding some fish blood and bone and chicken manure pellets to that bed. I'm going to go home, and when I pick up those timber battens, I'm going to pick up some more compost that I filled I filled some sacks with compost in earlier before I came down, and I'm going to bring a couple more of them down just to top up that bed I've just done. But I worked out a way of how to get my cloches down here as well. So what I did is I put 2 planks of timber onto the roof rack, and then what are these called? Ratchet strapped them to the roof rack, and then I screwed the cloches onto the timber so we can get them down, and it feels quite safe. This feels like it's not really going anywhere. So we got here in one piece. So I can now get my cloches down here as well, which is progress indeed. I don't know what it is about being at an allotment. As soon as I get here, my nose just starts to run. Anyone else like that when they're working in the garden? Oh, I'll just dump that here for the time being, because I'm going to start building my beds there. So I'll just put that there. Right, I'm going to go home, get another cloche, fill up the boot with compost, and try to remember the timber this time. So I'm back on the allotment now. I've topped up this bed, so this is all ready to go now. I've also got 3 more compost bags down here for whenever I've got more beds ready. Down here I've got my timber battens, which I just need to cut to size. I've got my screwdriver and saw there, some screws there and the tape measure, and then the wood I bought a few weeks ago, and I've just put some of it here behind the rhubarb, so we'll hike some of that out, and then the other bit is by the shed over there. When I was at the wood merchants a couple of weeks ago, I asked them to cut the gravel boards, which were 4.8 metres long, into half, which makes them 2.4 metres long, which is what I want for my beds. And that also means then that I can cut the pieces that are in half again to make the sides. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to cut the sides to measure, and I'm going to cut the timber into like 15 centimetre strips so that I can connect the 4 corners. So 120. Very unhelpfully, I didn't bring a pencil, so I'm just using this screw to make the indent, and then yeah, I can see that. Lovely. Right, let's just check again. Measure twice, cut once. Yep. Yeah, 120. And then just to make doubly sure my maths is all right, 120. Ah. 120. Lovely. I've forgotten my glasses, my safety glasses, and then that. I'll rattle through the rest of these and then we'll put the beds together. So I've cut all this wood that I'm going to use to attach the sides together in one go. And I find that's an easy way to do it when you're doing like multiple beds and stuff. It's easier to do like one stage at a time and get all those stages done and then put the final thing together. So I've just put a block of wood underneath because this ground is really uneven. And then I've lined up the edge and I'm just going to pop 2 screws in. And then do the same the other side. So just lining it up and making sure it's okay. I think I got my gloves stuck then. Let's take the glove off. So here it is, all ready now. I just need to connect the sides on either side. So I'll crack on and get all of these done and then we'll assemble the beds. So I'm just going to attach the length now to the width and hopefully it'll all be good. Right, well that's that one done. I just need to do the other 3 and then we can get on with putting them in place. I managed to get 3 of the 4 beds dug in. So I did those 2 and then this one is almost ready to go now. It just needs a top dress and this patch needs some compost as well. So when I next get a chance I shall try and fill some more compost bags from the composter home and bring them down and get that bed sorted. But I'm really pleased to have got these 3 done. I would have liked to have got the last one done, but I just run out of time really, and I haven't had much time to get it done since. And in further news about the rabbits, my plot neighbour from further down that way, he had a humane rabbit trap, and he was speaking to my plot neighbour and she said yes, she would like to put a trap down, and she asked me and I was like yes, I would like to put a trap down too. So let me show you where the trap is. So the trap is here and it's all ready to go. It's just by my neighbour's shed on my compost heap, which I know, look at all this digging I'm going to have to do. But anyway, let's get back to this trap. So this trap has caught 4 rabbits so far. There are 4 rabbits and we think it's living underneath my compost heap. So I do need to, get weeding this compost heap fairly soon and see if I can see where they're getting in and out. But yes, they've caught 4 as far as I'm aware. I'm not sure if they got them all though, because every time I'm coming down I am noticing a little bit of digging going on around the plot. I haven't got anything more now for them to eat because they've eaten all the tulips, and they've eaten my lavender as well that I planted. That's all gone. So hopefully with this trap now we can get rid of them. They've gone out. They were just released, the other side of the fence essentially. No harm came to them. I've got a photo of the rabbit in the trap, so you can see it wasn't hurt in any way. It was just captured and then could be released the other side. So hopefully we'll have got rid of them now and no more will come in. My rhubarb leaves have been munched by something. There's a few of the leaves gone around here, and I think it might be deer. And I've also got a rhubarb flower coming up, so I need to take that out, but I don't think I got a knife or anything with me that I can pull that out at the moment. And I need to bring a Stanley knife down to cut that as well, so I must remember a knife next time I come down. But this is the plot from a different angle. Also need a dump run in my future. I have brought down my spring onions, which are going to go in this bed here. I think I better give everything a water as well. I'll go around the other side. Trying to be lazy and I go around the other side. Yeah, it's still quite moist there, but I think I'll give them a water anyway. I'm working the next couple of days, so I won't be down here. So if I give them a water now, at least I'll know they are well watered. So we got 8 stations here. Well, one of them only has 3 in it, so I might split them and plant them with one that also has a few in them. There we go. Get these all covered over, watered and job done. Well, that's my spring onions in. I need to sow some more now, but at least some of them are in. It's always nice to come and plant something, isn't it? Because all this infrastructure can get a bit tiring, and it's nice to do some planting. Let me show you what I've been getting up to at home. I'm back in the front garden now because I want to plant out my potatoes, but it has taken me ages to weed all this area. I've spent the last sort of 2 days, not constantly 2 days, but more or less that's what I've been doing, is weeding this area and weeding the soft fruit area just behind me, because that was looking atrocious. And I'll take you over there and I'll show you the soft fruit in a minute. But I want to get my potatoes in now. So what I've got here are my main crop, one of my main crop, which is called Mozart, which I've never grown before. So that will be interesting to see how they turn out. I've got some potato fertiliser here. I haven't got much left of this, so I might have to resort to fish blood and bone when we go round to the back garden. But yes, let me get on and plant these out. These are the chits that they've got on them. So they're looking good. So I've laid out my potatoes roughly where I want them to go, and I'm going to have 8 plants growing in this area, just because, well, I had 8, that's what I bought, you know, that's what came in the packet. So I thought, well, I think 8 will be fine in this bed. It's quite a big bed. They are main crop, so they usually need a bit more space than the first earlies and second earlies, but I think that should be fine. So I'm just gonna dig a hole as deep as I can go, really. Well, not as deep as I can go, but sort of like a trowel length. Oh look, it's jumping in, it wants to be planted, look. So I'm just going to put a handful of the potato fertiliser in there, and then push that in and pop that over. So I'll just give this bed a quick water now, and when I see the plants growing, I'll earth them up then, because my main crop they need earthing up more than your first earlies and second earlies, in my opinion anyway. When I was out here the other day, when I was tidying up, I had a lovely harvest of my first asparagus, which was really exciting, as well as some lettuce from that bed there, and I picked a load of rhubarb from my bed over there, from which I've now made some wine. Well, I've started to make wine. I've put the rhubarb and sugar in a fermentation bucket, and you just leave them for 3 days, so the sugar draws out all the moisture from the rhubarb, all the flavour from the rhubarb, and then you add your water and your wine yeast and your yeast nutrient, and leave that then for 4 extra days, and then put it in a demijohn. So I was pleased to get enough rhubarb to make 2 lots of wine. I've still got a load of rhubarb down the allotment as well, so once this batch of wine has been made, I can make some more. Almost there with water in this now. This bed gets sun from, it's 10:30 now, you can see it's in the shade, but it's just coming into the sun. So it gets sun from about 10:30 until 5:30 in the evening. And a few years ago I grew some cucumbers and squashes in this bed, and they thrived here because it's a real sun trap. So I'm not sure potatoes like the heat that much, but we'll see how they grow there. So this bed you'll have seen me sort out a couple of weeks ago, where I put some fish blood and bone and some chicken manure pellets in here, and I gave it all a good weed, so it's all ready to go really. I'm just going to put a little handful of the potato fertiliser in the planting pocket, and these are my Wilger potatoes going in here. They are my second earlies, and I've got 5 of them left, so I'll be planting 3 in this bed and the other 2 in the bed next door. The spring onions in this second bed have been in since about October time, and you can see some of them are ready for harvesting now. They're looking quite good. Some of them are a bit behind, but we'll just leave them to grow on and harvest them a bit later. There we go. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to put in this top bed, because at the moment the pansies and violas are just looking lovely, and combined with what's growing along the bottom of the fruit trees, it's all looking really nice. Well, apart from the parsley, but that's just where I've transplanted it. But the flowers are looking great, so I might just end up putting flowers in this bed instead of crops. I know, shock horror. Who would have thought I would ever have planted flowers over vegetable crops? But hey, sometimes things just got to look nice as well as have a harvest, don't they? So this is my soft fruit area where I grow my black currants, red currants, gooseberries, jostaberry, grapes and the rhubarb. This is the rhubarb I told you that I harvested the other day, and I've done a thorough weed in here because there was just absolutely loads of dandelions growing, loads of chickweed growing, and I'm pleased now because I weeded it because I wanted to lay down this irrigation system that's here. So this was in my back garden where my veg beds were, and I moved it around to here because I wanted to set up a water butt, and I bought a timer. I bought it last year. Actually, I bought 2 of them, and they're not there's not a pump on it or anything, but it's just meant to like slowly let the water seep out for a certain amount of time. So you can time it to come on and off, you know, for 10 minutes a day or once every 2 days or whatever you want. It's very straightforward, but it's not working. And I think maybe the run is too long, or I don't know, it's not working anyway. So that's frustrating because it took me about 2 hours to run in this pipe in because I had to take it out of the back garden and then run it in between the trees. And it's a wonder I've got any fruit left on my trees because I've just been in there bashing them about where I've been weeding. So hopefully next year I'll get that done a lot earlier before the trees come in to flower or fruit. But the fruit is looking good. We have got lots of black currants on there, lots of red currants. The gooseberries are looking good. It's been a warm spring and we've had hardly any April showers here. So I wanted to get this watering done. Having said that, I never water this bed every year. The first year when I planted them, I watered them in, but after that, I've left them to their own devices and they've always done well. So if I don't get the watering system set up, I know they will still thrive because they have done in the past. However, let's go and have a look at my blueberries, which are not thriving at the moment. Here are my 4 pots of blueberries. Not that you can see them because there's so many weeds in them, and they are quite light, which means that they're really short on water. And essentially, I've just neglected them and not got round to sorting them out for this year. So what I need to do today is remove all the weeds, give them a top dressing, maybe even lift the pot out and shake some of the compost off and put fresh compost in the bottom. Not quite sure about that yet. I have got a bag of ericaceous compost, so I can do that. But I think when I take some of the weeds off, I might find I've only got 2 blueberry plants left. So I might be adding blueberry plants to my birthday list in November, maybe. Yeah, I don't have much luck with blueberries. Anyway, let's get on and get these weeded. Try and see what we got going on here. Oh yeah, I think there should be room in here to get some more compost in the bottom. Aha, we do have a blueberry plant here after all. Pull this out. So I'm just adding some fresh compost into the bottom with a bit of fish blood and bone. Pop this back in. Add a bit more fish blood and bone to the top. There we go. Well, that's one done. I'll get on and do the other 3 and I'll show you what I've got at the end. Here they are. I did better than expected. I ended up with 3, although this one is looking a little bit marginal. I'm not quite sure if that is going to make it because the roots were very, very small. There was hardly any root ball there. But these ones, hopefully, if I stay on top of watering them, I've just given them loads of water now, but I'll come back and give them a bit more and hopefully they will make it. It is a warm day today. Before we go through to the back garden and I show you a complete and utter mess that is now, let me show you the strawberries and some of the seedlings I've got on the go. So here's my strawberry patch. I grow my strawberries in tubs and they are beginning to develop now. These ones are 1 year old, I think, and these ones here are 2 year old. They have slightly more flowers on them, but hopefully, providing we don't have any frost now, these will turn into lovely strawberries for my daughter who loves them. And what I've really enjoyed seeing this year are these pots with pansies and daffodils in. If I just stand back a bit and show you, the vibrant colours have just been so lovely when there hasn't been that much to look at. These ones are still going, but the others have gone over now, so I need to deadhead them. But I'll leave the pansies where they are because they look like they're doing really, really well. And there's some tulips there. And then these are the other, well, I think they're all the same variety of strawberry now. But they look much healthier than the strawberries that were in here. So I've got all sort of different size pots. So I've got singles in some. And then these troughs have got 3 in. These round ones have got 3 in. And then I've got some mint growing in the middle there. And a load of singles there. And then if we come to my mini greenhouse, let's have a look and see what's occurring with the seeds or the seedlings I've got growing here. So this green tray is sweet corn and they are just beginning to show now. And then here is an assortment of different kinds. So we got brassicas, then there's marigolds at the back, there's some chamomile somewhere, there's this one here, that's a cucumber that's just emerging, so that's looking good. And then down here got a lot of sunflowers. I don't know why I've planted so many sunflowers, but there we are. We have got a lot of sunflowers. Sunflower, not much sign of any squashes yet. And there's a nasturtium coming through there. And then in these pots I've got some multi-sown leeks. And there's not much showing through yet either. And then on the other side I've got some celeriac. This variety is Giant Prague, but I haven't long potted them on, so they're looking a bit straggly at the moment. So I wanted to show you a success story before I take you into the back garden and show you the mess that's going on there. So come on, I can't put it off any longer. Here we go. This is where I used to grow my veg before I got the allotment. And this is where my first row of beds used to be. You can see I've dug out the compost there and transported it to the allotment. What I do seem to be very good at growing this year is dandelions. They seem to be absolutely everywhere. I need to go around with my trowel. But I've just got up to this first path now, so I need to dig that up and bag that up, and then we can fill a few more of the beds at the allotment. It is a bit weedy in places. I still got that cloche to take down. I've got this wood to take down and transport, but this wood is not long enough for the bed that I want, so it's going to go on the sides of my allotment. And then over here I've got blackberries coming through, but I need to dig these blackberries out because they're doing really well, but they're running everywhere. So it started off with like one clump there, now I've got a clump there, and I've got a clump there, and I don't want these blackberries getting out of hand, so quite frankly they've got to go. But that is the least of my problems at the moment. I have got to get rid of this compost. And the reason I need to get rid of this area here is because the chicken cage is going to move down to this area here. Then this apple tree is going to be removed and the stump taken out, because those apples never ever give us anything but having to pick them all up off the floor because they just get infected. And we have tried everything. We've tried pheromone traps, we've tried tree bands to stop them getting up into there, but nothing works. They just, every year, they just get infected and the apples fall off rotten. They rot on the tree, they fall off. They sometimes have those like brown, they go brown with white pustules. They get that a lot as well. So we've decided to get rid of that apple tree. And I have got other apple trees around the garden, so it's not so bad. And in this spot here where the apple tree and chicken cage is, I'm going to have a homemade greenhouse there. So it's going to be a big greenhouse, hopefully, probably coming out to where the chicken cage is, but maybe going over to where this first post is here. And we'll also extend this chicken run as well. And you can buy roofs, well not roofs, but sort of polythene to go over the top of the chickens, which we can't do at the moment because the apple tree is coming out the top. And in the winter the poor chickens just get so muddy, and I feel like such an awful chicken keeper that it'll be really nice that we can put a cover over the top so they don't get quite so muddy and look so awful there. And then the greenhouses that I've currently got, which is this one here that I had last year and I haven't put up, that's going down to the allotment and will become a brassica cage. So I'll just put netting over it and I will grow my sprouts and purple sprouting broccoli and kale inside one of them. And then my other greenhouse, which is this one here, the frame will also go down to the allotment and it will be another brassica cage for cabbages and collies and kohlrabi and things like that. So I'll just be able to walk in and I shouldn't have to faff around with lifting cloches and lifting netting and things like that. And the glass then will go towards the new homemade greenhouse is the plan. And I just thought I'd show you what's going on in here. So we got some good looking lupins on the go. Some multi-sown antirrhinum, but now these are getting bigger, I can separate them when I plant them out. I went to the garden centre and succumbed to buying some tomato plants because mine are tiny little seedlings at the moment. And the variety I have here, I've never really grown apart from Shirley. So this one is called Bad Boy. And Big Boy, sorry, and I think that's going to be like a beefsteak tomato. Then we got black opal here. Then one of them is Shirley, and then I can't remember what the other variety is. This is Sungold. So I bought 4, and the other variety is Shirley. So that's looking good. Back here I got some coriander there, parsley, dill, and the garlics. And then we got some Swiss chard, which is probably ready to go out now. Some lettuces, which have are ready to go out as well. Some more antirrhinum. Some more celeriac. I don't know why I've got so much celeriac. When I sowed it, I must have oversown them, and then I just couldn't throw them away. So I just potted on all the celeriac that I've got. So I only need 16 plants, and I must have about 48, something like that. But hopefully I can give them away to plot neighbours or friends who might want them. Yeah, so I'm sure I'll find a home for them. Up from the gazillion celeriac plants, we've got some alyssum. I think this is mixed purple and white. And then we got some foxgloves, which are just all sown here. And when I come to plant them out, I'll just separate them as I plant them. We're back to the tomatoes now. I gotta get out of this greenhouse. Look, there's more rhubarb here. More rhubarb. I haven't even harvested any of that yet. And I just wanted to show you my lettuce and mustard crops, which are going really well here. Some are beginning to bolt, but you just saw I got some lettuce to go in their place. So these are the spare garlics that I had left over. We've got some purple hebes growing there. And then this lettuce is ready for harvesting, but I harvested that other 3 lettuce the other day, so we don't need that just yet. This one I'm using as a cut and come again. This one has slightly gone over, so I don't imagine that will be there for much longer. And then my green mustard is doing really well. We had some of that this morning mixed with scrambled egg. The purple mustard some of it is beginning to bolt. So you can see there, that's beginning to bolt. I've got one here that's beginning to bolt and a couple here. So what I've been doing is I've just been popping some of those lettuce that you just saw in the greenhouse into these pots as some of them have been coming out. So hopefully we'll get a succession of lettuce on the go. And on to my final job for today, which is going to be plant my potatoes in these beds here. I've got some field beans here, and they've been growing all winter. They're meant to add nitrogen to the soil, but you're meant to cut them out before they start flowering, and they have started flowering. So they might not be fixing any nitrogen into the soil. So I'm going to add some fish blood and bone, some chicken manure pellets. I've got my main crops here, but you don't need to see me doing this because you've already seen me plant potatoes today. So I shall say goodbye for now. I've been Bethan, and this has been a lovely job. So you will have just seen me adding some a snail came with the cloches from home. Can go over there. I've got my main earlies here. I've got 8 Mozart. I've got a couple more. Did I say main earlies? Did I say main earlies?